Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Nishit Kumar. The headlines. President Draupadi Murmu to witness world-famous Puri Rath Yatra in Odisha today. FSSAI to make mandatory labeling of salt, sugar and fat on packaged food items in bold letters and bigger font size. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh governments decide to constitute high-level committees to resolve post-bifurcation issues. Char Dham Yatra temporarily suspended due to heavy rain forecast in Uttarakhand. At least 4 terrorists killed in 2 encounters with security forces in Kulgam district of Jammu and Kashmir. And in wrestling, Vinesh Phogat wins the gold in women's 50 kg event at Spanish Grand Prix in Madrid. And now the news in detail. In Odisha, the world-famous Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra and Devi Subhadra is being held today in the holy town of Puri. President Draupadi Murmu will join the annual festival which attracts lakhs of devotees from different parts of the world. The Odisha government has made all arrangements to ensure the festival proceeds smoothly and also for the President's visit. The 2-day public holiday has been declared by the state government for today and tomorrow for the Rath Yatra. We have more from our correspondent.
The world-famous Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balabhadra, Devi Subhadra and Lord Darshan is typically a one-day event, but due to specific celestial arrangements, it will span 2 days this year, a rarity last seen in 1971. The chariots are positioned in front of the Lion's Gate of the Sri Jagannath temple and are ready to be taken to the Sri Gundicha temple, where they will remain for a week. Devotees will pull the chariots this afternoon after all rituals are over. Departing from customary practice, several rituals involving the 3 deities, Lord Jagannath, Devi Subhadra and Lord Balabhadra will be performed on a single day. This year, the Rath Yatra and associated rituals like Navajovan Darshan and Netra Utsav will all take place today. Typically, these rituals are conducted before the Rath Yatra. The Rath Yatra, also known as the Sri Gundicha Yatra, is believed to be as ancient as the Sri Jagannath temple in Puri. The festival marks the Holy Trinity's journey to their maternal aunt goddess Gundicha Devi's temple and concludes with their return after 8 days. Prakash Das, Akashvani News, Puri.
In Gujarat, 147th Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath commenced today amid tight security. Devotees in large numbers have thronged the temple premises to catch a glimpse of the deity. We have a report.
The world-famous annual procession of Lord Jagannath began today in Ahmedabad in traditional Zealand fervour. Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel performed the Pahind Vidhi, a symbolic ritual of cleaning the way for the chariots using golden broom, and flagged off the Rath Yatra. Idols of Lord Jagannath, Lord Balbhadra and Subhadra were installed on the chariots and 16-kilometer long procession kicked off. Ahead of the procession, Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah participated in the Mangala Aarti at Jagannath Temple in Jamalpur area of Ahmedabad today morning. This time, more than 18,000 security personnel have been deployed to guard the procession. Aparna Khun, Akashvani News, Ahmedabad.
The Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI, has approved a proposal to display nutritional information regarding total sugar, salt and saturated fat in bold letters and increase font size on labels of packaged food items. The decision to approve the amendment in the Food Safety and Standards Labeling and Display Regulations 2020 regarding nutritional information labeling was taken in the 44th meeting of the Food Authority. The meeting was chaired by FSSAI Chairperson Apurva Chandra. Union Health Ministry in a statement said that the amendments aim to empower consumers to better understand the nutritional value of the product they are consuming and make healthier decisions. The ministry added that the draft notification for the said amendment would now be put in the public domain for inviting suggestions and objections. Along with empowering consumers make healthier choices, the amendment would also contribute towards efforts to combat the rise of non-communicable diseases (NCDs) and promote public health and well-being. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh governments have decided to constitute high-level committees at 3 stages to resolve post-bifurcation issues. The decision was taken at a meeting between Telangana Chief Minister A. Revanta Reddy and his Andhra Pradesh counterpart N. Chandrababu Naidu in Hyderabad yesterday evening. A nearly 2-hour-long meeting between the delegations of the 2 states led by the chief ministers and comprising ministers and senior officials discussed the issues pending for the last 10 years. Telangana Deputy Chief Minister Mallu Bhatti Vikramarka told the media after the meeting that it was decided to constitute a high-level committee comprising senior officials. The panel will be constituted in 2 weeks. The issues which could not be resolved by the committees of officials will be referred to a committee of ministers. He said if the committee of ministers also failed to find a resolution, another meeting of the chief ministers will be held to resolve them. Mr. Vikramarka said that the two states discussed the issues which remain unresolved even after 10 years after the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh. Both the state governments also agreed to work together to check drugs and cyber crimes. The ongoing Char Dham Yatra in Uttarakhand will remain suspended today due to heavy rain alert issued by the India Meteorological Department IMD. Garhwal Divisional Commissioner Vinay Shankar Pandey issued an order in this regard late yesterday. He urged pilgrims en route to the temples to avoid proceeding further and stay where they are. Mr. Pandey appealed to pilgrims not to travel beyond Rishikesh in view of the weather department's heavy rain forecast and landslides on various routes. Pilgrims have been advised to proceed further only when the weather is clear. The IMD has issued an alert for heavy rains in all districts of Uttarakhand today and tomorrow.
Heavy rainfall is also expected over Uttarakhand, East Uttar Pradesh, East and West Madhya.
At least 4 terrorists were killed in twin encounters in Kulgam district of Jammu and Kashmir yesterday. The encounters took place in Frizal, Chinigam and Modergam areas of the South Kashmir district. Officials said that one terrorist commander is among the 4 terrorists killed. The first encounter unfolded in Modergam village during a cordon search operation prompted by intelligence inputs on militant presence. Later in the afternoon, another intense exchange of fire erupted in Frizal Chinigam, resulting in the neutralization of 4 militants. Firing exchanges were reported to be continuing according to the latest updates. This is Akashwani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. Welcome back to the morning news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will embark on a 3-day official visit to Russia and Austria from tomorrow. In the first leg of his visit, Mr. Modi will be in Moscow at the invitation of Russian President Vladimir Putin to hold the 22nd India-Russia Annual Summit. The leaders will review the entire range of multifaceted relations between the two countries and exchange views on contemporary regional and global issues of mutual interest. After wrapping up his Russia visit, the Prime Minister will reach Austria on Tuesday. This will be the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Austria in 41 years. Mr. Modi will interact with members of the Indian community in Moscow as well as in Vienna. We have more from our correspondent.
The 22nd annual summit between India and Russia would provide an opportunity to Mr. Modi and Mr. Putin to review the whole range of bilateral issues. It include defense, trade linkages, investment ties, energy cooperation, science and technology, education, culture and people-to-people exchanges. They would also share perspectives on regional and global developments of mutual interest. They would also assess the status of bilateral engagements in groupings such as BRICS, SCO, G20, East Asia Summit and the UN. On the second leg of his visit to Austria, Mr. Modi will call on President of Austria Alexander Van der Bellen and hold talks with Chancellor of Austria Karl Nehammer in Vienna. The Prime Minister and the Chancellor will also address business leaders from India and Austria. With Anand Kumar, Anupam Mishra, Akashwani News, Delhi.
Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer has labelled Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit to Vienna as a special honour, stating that he is eagerly looking forward to it. PM Modi is scheduled to arrive in Austria on the second leg of his two-nation trip from Moscow on July 9. During his stay in Vienna, PM Modi will call on Austrian President Alexander Van der Bellen and hold talks with Chancellor Nehammer. Both leaders will also address business leaders from India and Austria. PM Modi is also scheduled to interact with members of the Indian community in Vienna during his visit. BJP President JP Nadda has demanded the Tamil Nadu government to punish the culprits responsible for the killing of state BSP chief K. Armstrong. In a social media post, Mr. Nadda said that the gruesome murder of Armstrong has angered the entire nation. Cornering the DMK Congress government in Tamil Nadu over the issue, Mr. Nadda said that the incident has reaffirmed its disregard towards the poor and marginalized sections of society. He said it is better for the DMK Congress to show compassion instead of indulging in petty politics. India Meteorological Department has forecast isolated heavy rainfall over Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, East Rajasthan, Arunachal, Assam, Meghalaya, Madhya Maharashtra and South Interior Karnataka for today. We have more from our correspondent.
Heavy rainfall is also expected over Uttarakhand, East Uttar Pradesh, East and West Madhya Pradesh, Vidarbha and Chhattisgarh from tomorrow to Wednesday. IMD said isolated heavy rainfall is very likely over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Mizoram, Tripura and Bihar till 10th July. Isolated very heavy rainfall is also predicted over coastal Karnataka till 9th July. Meanwhile, weather in the national capital region remains pleasant. Delhi recorded 34 degrees Celsius maximum and 20 degrees Celsius minimum temperature yesterday. Raisuddin Rihan, Akashvani News, Delhi.
In Assam, 6 more people lost their lives in flood during the last 24 hours, raising the toll to 58 this season. The flood scenario in the state remains unchanged as nearly 24 lakh people are still reeling under the deluge across 29 districts. More than 3,500 villages of 107 revenue circles affected by flood and over 68,000 hectares of crop areas have been damaged across the state. NDRF and SDRF teams have rescued 218 people during the last 24 hours. The river Brahmaputra, Barak and all the tributaries are flowing above the danger level. The flood damaged 176 roads and 2 bridges apart from other infrastructures during the last 24 hours. Over 15 lakh animals are also affected by the flood. State government has opened 293 relief camps and 284 relief distribution centers. India Meteorological Department has warned of very heavy rain in the state. Indian wrestler Vinesh Fogart clinched the women's 50 kg gold medal at the Grand Prix of Spain in Madrid yesterday. She defeated Russian wrestler Maria Tomarakova 10-5 in the final to bag the gold. Vinesh won 3 bouts without much difficulty to storm into the final. After her training competition stint in Spain, Vinesh will travel to France for a 20-day training stint in preparations for the Paris Games. And in men's cricket, India will take on Zimbabwe in the second of the 5-match T20 series in Harare, Zimbabwe this evening. The match will start at 4:30 p.m. IST. The hosts currently hold a 1-0 lead in the series following their remarkable victory against the reigning T20 world champions. In women's cricket, India will lock horns with South Africa in the second T20 of the 3-match series at the M. H. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai this evening. The match is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. The women in blue are determined to rebound following a narrow 12-run loss to the Proteas in the first T20. And in the UEFA European Football Championship, England and the Netherlands secured their spots in the semi-finals with thrilling victories last night. England edged past Switzerland 5-3 on penalties after a tense 1-1 draw in the regular time. Breel Embolo put Switzerland ahead in the 75th minute. However, Bukayo Saka equalized just 5 minutes later. In the penalty shootout, England scored all 5 penalties while Switzerland managed 3, dashing their hopes of progressing any further. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Subhadra Ramchandran.
Thank you, Nishit. News of Finance Minister presenting Union Budget for 2024-25 on July 23rd is carried prominently by all the leading dailies. PM Modi speaks to UK PM-elect Starmer, invites him to India, both agree to work on sealing FTA, headlines the Sunday Express. 2 Jawans martyred, 4 terrorists killed in J&K gunfights is the top story in the Sunday Tribune. Iran-elect reformist Pezeshkian as president is the cover page story in the Hindu. Counselling schedule for NEET, not yet final, says Centre, is the leading story in the Asian Age. Post-election results market rally helped 17 companies enter rupees 1 trillion market cap club, according to Financial Express. Key amendments to IBC and companies law likely in winter session, says the Economic Times. And finally, Supreme Court to resume work after summer vacation on Monday. Heavy agenda awaits adjudication, says a report in the Sunday Statesman. And with that, it's back to you, Nishit.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President Draupadi Murmu to witness world-famous Puri Yatra in Odisha today. FSSAI to make mandatory labeling of salt, sugar and fat on packaged food items in bold letters and bigger font size. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh governments decide to constitute high-level committees to resolve post-bifurcation issues. Char Dham Yatra temporarily suspended due to heavy rain forecast in Uttarakhand. At least 4 terrorists killed in 2 encounters with security forces in Kulgam district of Jammu and Kashmir. And in wrestling, Vinesh Fogart wins the gold in women's 50 kg event at the Spanish Grand Prix in Madrid. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.